some of the difficulty with having so much material out there is I don't really know which one you guys want to hear first. Which podcast do I choose? Today, we're going with Democrat indicted over ICE facility clash, faces up to 17 years in prison. Imagine if she actually got sentenced. She'd be sitting there going, huh? Let's get into it. Here we go. Here's our soon-to-be convicted felon. Let's read the story. A federal grand jury indicted Representative LaMonica. LaMonica. Just take a regular old name and throw a "la" in front of it, and you got LaMonica MacGyver in connection to last month's scuffle outside an Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the ICE detention facility in Newark, New Jersey. Interim U.S. Attorney for the District of New Jersey, Alina Habba, announced on Tuesday. Now, she was one of Trump's attorneys, right? She was one of Trump's attorneys. She's kind of the brunette, not terrible looking. I think that's who that is. In a post on X, Habba revealed that the 3-count indictment charges MacGyver with forcibly impeding and interfering with federal law enforcement officers. You know, these people think that they can just throw their weight around, and because they're a politician and they're a certain color, that they're just going to, have no repercussions whatsoever. Let's play the video. Let's take a look at, I think we've got video right here. Oh, she's right in the heart of it. She's in the mix of it. These knuckleheaded politicians who get involved with this stuff. It's like, what are you trying to prove here? There's another angle. Ooh. Oh. She needs to go right to prison. We need, she put her hands on a police officer. Law enforcement. Can't do that. That's a no-no. That's a get straight taken to the mat. Just boom. These people. What a bunch of ineffective knuckleheads.
You talk to a congresswoman like that, and you better not put your hands on him.
What a loser. There you go. Bye-bye. Let's watch it. Yeah. Ooh, not good. Not good. You know, this is a terrible look for a congresswoman. Just terrible. It's like, you are irresponsible. You're a loser. Oh, juicy. You guys are creating this. So they went there. New DHS has provided Fox News ICE body cam video from the altercation at the Delaney Hall detention facility yesterday. They say the video clearly shows Representative LaMonica, red clothing, elbowing her way past a DHS agent to get past the gate and into the property, followed behind by Representative Menendez, and that it shows Congressman MacGyver screaming in the faces of DHS agents. Member of Congress claimed that they were assaulted and roughed up. Don't they always? They justify that the other side roughed them up when actually they were the one instigating. Like we heard at the end, you guys are causing this. What are you talking about? During the incident, and deny DHS characterization that they stormed the facility, which is what they did. That is what they did. That's what you've got going on. And you got a bunch of lunatics who think they can just run around and claim stuff that didn't happened, and that the reality, it was none. Oh, we were mostly peaceful. We were, mostly peaceful. MacGyver said that she will be entering a plea of not guilty. Okay. The fact of this case will prove I was simply doing my job and will expose these proceedings for what they are, a brazen attempt at political intimidation. Let's see, you went into an ICE facility and you mixed it up. You're on their turf and you're claiming that this is a brazen attempt at political intimidation? That's a stretch. This indictment is not more justified than the original charges and is an effort by Trump's administration to dodge accountability for the chaos ICE caused. Which chaos was that? Was that deporting the criminal illegal aliens? You mean that chaos? The crime and insanity that they brought by Biden, allowing 15, 20 million criminal illegals into the country? You mean that chaos? Okay. All right. So now we're on the same page. And scare me out of doing the work I was elected to do. Were you elected to harass and physically put your hands on DHS and ICE agents? Is that what you were elected to do? Did your constituency elect you to mix it up with law enforcement? Because I gotta be honest. Whenever I see a cop, I don't really think, hey, maybe I'll just put my hands on him and find out what happens. Hey, maybe I'll just push him back in the chest. Maybe I'll just, I expect to get taken to the mat immediately doing that. You know what I mean? You just boom, down. Oh, sorry. I mean, that is what should happen. And the only reason she didn't is because, well, yeah. But it won't work. I will not be intimidated. Well, you're a knucklehead. On May 9th, MacGyver and other Democrats from New Jersey demanded they be allowed to conduct oversight of the ICE detention facility at Delaney Hall. They're just going in to take a look. We just want to look. We want a peek see. You just show up unannounced. Hey, I'm a congresswoman. Nobody cares. DHS doesn't care. ICE doesn't give a shit who you are. They're trying to get criminal illegals out of the country, and I say you let them. Anything else is just a bunch of psychobabble. Confrontation between them and Department of Homeland Security agents ensued and shown in ICE body cam footage. According to the Department of Justice press release, indictment says MacGyver forcibly impeded and interfered with federal officers amid their efforts to arrest the mayor of Newark, who had entered a secured area. These people cause all the issues, and then they go, it's them. It's them. Nobody's biting on that. Nobody's biting on that. It's not 2020 anymore, folks. It's not 2020 anymore. You can't hide behind a bunch of nonsense that isn't true. Someone in the crowd yelled, "Circle the mayor!" Like circle the wagons like you're getting attacked by the Indians. Circle the mayor, the Department of Justice said. MacGyver then faced the mayor and placed her arms around him in an effort to prevent HSI from completing the arrest. Was that Homeland Security? Yeah. What did you think would happen? You know what I mean? These people are just deranged. They're just not there. During her continued attempts to thwart the arrest, MacGyver slammed her forearm into the body of one law enforcement officer and also reached out and tried to restrain that officer by forcibly grabbing him. That is literally where she should have been on the ground. I mean, just drop her. Just absolutely drop her. Put your hands on law enforcement, impede law enforcement. Hey, F around and find out, right? You get what's coming to you. You get taken down. They blow out your knee. Don't care. Dislocate your shoulder. Don't care. You caused it. Your actions are here, and now the repercussions are here. So enjoy. MacGyver also used each of her forearms to forcibly strike a second officer. I mean, just, getting in the middle of that. I want to see the facility. Did you have an appointment? Now, you just busted in there thinking, well, let us in. We're important people. MacGyver, initially charged a few weeks ago, faces up to 17 years in prison if convicted. She'll get off with probation or some damn thing. As I have stated in the past, it's my constitutional obligation as the chief federal law enforcement officer for New Jersey to ensure that our federal partners are protected while executing their duties, Paba declared in her post on X. While people are free to express their views for or against particular policies, they must not do so in a manner that endangers law enforcement and the communities that those officers serve. So by doing this, LaMonica is basically furthering the whole defund the police concept, going after cops. Cops are bad. Law enforcement is bad, and claiming that they roughed her up. That's just nonsense. We saw what happened. It's just 100% nonsense. We're not buying it. We're not buying what you got to sell today. Haba added, today's decision by the grand jury is the next step in a process that my office will pursue to a just end. Man, I would love to see her get processed. I'd love to see her do a little time. I mean, these folks never do, though, right? Here's the next one. Democrats claim ICE agents roughed them up. Body cam footage says otherwise. Shocker. This is the stuff that you hear, we heard coming out of Chop and Chaz. Oh, they touched me. And a cop is literally just holding the line. It's such stupid stuff. It's stupid stuff. You can't go into an ICE facility, demand to be let in to take a look around, and then mix it up with the ICE agents, whomever agents are there, and not expect something to happen. They say the video clearly shows Representative LaMonica elbowing her way past a DHS agent to get past the gate. Yeah, that's what we saw. Several New Jersey Democrats claimed that immigration and ICE got rough with them. According to reports, the protesters waited outside the gate until it was open for a vehicle transporting detainees, at which point they rushed through the gate. I think anybody that gets in between ICE and their job should get just an automatic 10-year sentence. Just boop, 10 years. Just give them 10 years, let them cool their jets, let them think about their protesting career. Because where is this going? I mean, look at the optics of this. That's what I've been talking about a ton, is the optics. Rest of America looks in on these knuckleheads and goes, isn't ICE getting the bad guys out of the country that Biden let in? They are. They are doing that. So you're trying to stop them from taking the bad guys that Biden let in, and over half the country voted that way last election, right? One of my other podcasts is immigrants that now have the voting right have shifted 40 points towards the Democratic Party, towards the Republican Party, towards the GOP, because they have got what they came for, which is the American dream. They are now citizens. They can now vote. And most of these people, they got their little piece of the American pie. And they want to keep it. They don't want to have it diluted by a whole bunch of other, criminal illegals coming into the country and doing, basically diluting their American dream. All that money that has to go towards the criminal illegals, and you're spending all that money. People have gotten wise to that. And specifically the demographic of immigrants that can now vote. They are voting hard red because, a lot of them are coming from South American countries. They're coming from Honduras. They're coming from Colombia. They're coming from wherever. They're Catholic. They're conservative. They're family oriented. You don't see these groups out there just running around, running through stores and looting. You see that from the Mexican nationals. But from a lot of these folks that are here legally now, they are going the other way, and they are saying, hey, we don't want these folks here in the country because they're not good for the country. They're not good for us raising our families here. We just want our piece of the American dream when we want to chill. And that's what polling is saying right now. And so these folks, these Democrats that are really still on 2020 ideology, they're behind the times, and the optics are, what are you doing? That's what today's podcast is what in the F are you doing? Are you mentally the R word? Are you, because that's what it looks like. And then they claim, oh, we were roughed up. Well, got a little thing called body cam footage there, sweetheart. Some of my thoughts are, here's that legal immigrants have swung 40 points. Some of my thoughts are, we're going to enter into a real riot period here. We're going to have the No Kings protest in all throughout the United States. Many, many, many cities will have the No Kings because they feel like Trump is a king. Okay, whatever. All right, okay. While they're out protesting and looting and destroying things, the Republicans are planning their next 4 years in office after this. They're not out looting. They're not out rioting. And yet the optics of what, the far left Democratic arm, it reflects on Democrats very, very poorly, because this is in a big, these riots are happening in a big Democrat, city, big liberal city, Los Angeles and Newark. I mean, you've got people in various different areas of the country that still are on this mindset of, I'm really going to get some brownie points for impeding ICE's efforts to throw out criminal illegal aliens from the country. They think they're going to get brownie points for this, and their constituents are sitting back at home going, what are you doing? That's not what we voted you into office for. Because all those resources going to the illegals are resources they don't get. They're resources that they have to pay as citizens of whatever state, whatever city that they're in. And all that money's going out, and they've recognized, oh, that's money we could have had. Now we don't get that. And our piece of the American pie gets diluted each time a criminal illegal alien came in. And if they've got the right to vote, they're pretty legal. So they're in. They've made it in. So they're going to look around at the other criminal illegals, anybody who came in that's not legal, and go, nope, out, nope, out. Because then that makes their chances of success better. That makes their chances of success just so much better. Plus, I think a lot of these folks are conservative that have come into the country, and they're not on board with what we're seeing happen with the looting, the rioting, the, getting in people's faces and screaming at people. They are not communists. And that's what a lot of what we see going on in Los Angeles right now. Those are communist parties, straight and simple, communist parties. You got Mexican Antifa, you got Antifa in general. I mean, those people just want the destruction of American society. That's what they want. Destruction of capitalism, get rid of the judicial system, get rid of cops, defund the police, all of this just utter insanity. And so LaMonica here is on that side as well, because she's going up against ICE, getting rid of criminal illegals from the country. What a bad look. I don't think these folks realize what a bad look this is. But let's check this one out. Legal immigrants have swung 40 points, and I'm going to do a full podcast on this one too. 40 points right on immigration. They favor the GOP. This is from a CNN polling expert. Like, whew, huh. Should have seen, I'll play a little bit of that, but let's see if we've got video on it. Yeah, watch this. Look at the face on the,
on the fact that
I want to say girl in white shirt here.
Gone tremendously to the right on this issue in 2024 and 2025 versus where they were in 2020. Closest to or trust more in immigration. You go back to 2020. Democrats, get this, held a 32-point lead on this issue. Immigrant voters were in the Democratic camp.
So this is immigrant citizens. They're immigrants, but they got the right to vote because now they are naturalized citizens. They're up 32 points in 2020. GOP up 8 points, 40-point swing. Immigrant citizens, they got theirs. They got their piece of the dream. Now they're going to vote with the guys who are for law and order because they're legal. They made it. They got it. And yet these politicians are running around with their heads cut off doing this kind of ridiculous nonsense.
Jump forward to 2024, 2025. Look at that shift, a 40-point shift among immigrant voters. Republicans now lead on this issue by 8 points over Democrats, more so than any other group that I could find. The group of voters who became more hawkish on immigration were in fact immigrants themselves, immigrants who are registered to vote in this country.
And that's what I've been saying for a while, is this bringing in the 15, 20 million, 12 million, whatever it is. The ones that actually get citizenship aren't going to vote for the party that brought them in. They're going to vote for the party that keeps them in place. And that's law and order. And right now, that is not the Democrats. But let's see what our co-host here.
how about how they feel about kind of traditionally, historically about Donald Trump?
Yeah. So, you see this shift and you go, what is going on underneath the hood? Well, take a look, Donald Trump. You remember when he first ran back in 2016, immigrant voters were one of his weakest spots. But look at this. Trump's vote share in presidential election among, again, immigrant citizens, those who are registered to vote. Look at this. 2016, he got 36% of the vote. You go to 2020, 39% of the vote. Look at this. In 2024, all the way up to 47% of the vote. Some polls I look.
This is immigrant citizens. Yeah. The ones that you would think could be like, F ICE. Oh, we hate ICE. No, they don't. They don't, because they're covered. They're in. They are no longer illegal. They're legal.
Looked at had him barely losing that vote. Some polls I looked at had him barely winning that vote. Again, there is no block of voters that shifted more to the right from 2020 to 2024 than immigrant voters. And Donald Trump, at least in some surveys, actually won that vote. On average, it's about equal. So there may be all this stuff, right, about undocumented immigrants and Trump being harsh on them, but immigrant voters themselves have increasingly liked Donald Trump and have increasingly moved to the right on immigration and into the Republican camp.
Well, then on that, what you're getting at, how immigrant citizens, voters, feel about people in the country illegally.
Yeah. And this is where it all kind of comes together, Kate Baldwin. Look at this. The net favorable rating, immigrants who are here illegally among immigrant citizens, again, those registered to vote. In 2020, look at this, plus 23 points on the net favorable rating. But
you're our people, 2020.
Minus 6 points.
You're not our people.
So
Underwater.
Have become increasingly unfavorable in their views of those immigrants who are here illegally.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's so important when we're talking about this debate from a political angle to separate those out who are undocumented immigrants versus those who are here legally and those who are citizens and those who are voters, because that group of voters
right there,
increasingly distant from those immigrants who are here legally. And so again, when we're talking about this, at least from a political angle, this is why Donald Trump feels so comfortable, because in fact, amongst the group that you would think that would be most opposed to this, in fact, they become increasingly favorable, not just towards Donald Trump, but towards a Republican point of view on immigration and becoming distant from those immigrants who are here illegally.
Yeah, an important baseline to consider as this.
Can you imagine working at CNN right now? I mean, what do you think? What do you put out there? What do you believe in? Because you spent the last however many years just pitching a bunch of nonsense. ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, same thing. Just a bunch of nonsense. And then you're faced with these realities. Got to spin your way out of them. And then you got Pollmeister here. That was just his poll, but we heard that repeatedly during the election. Biggest swing has been with recent immigrant voters. It's been with Hispanics. It's with went down all of these folks that had, have immigrated here in recent years and are now legally voting. And those people are going ham for Trump. And that's where the optics of having a Democrat, you've got bird brain here, trying to convince us she's doing the right thing. And even her own constituents, I'm sure, are like, what are you doing? You're not helping us out. You're not helping us out. But they think that this is the position they should hold. I guess what we'll say is we'll see in the next election how that worked out for you. All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. Love to have you subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.